Welcome. It's New Year's Day, actually. Brandt Corcan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about
And
yourself, Troy?
I'm having a pretty good year so far. I worked till 4 in the morning, and I just got up a few hours ago. So nothing has gone wrong yet in 2026.
Good.
Um, you know, you had a little accident just the other day, and you're trying to become, I guess, Iron Man or a cyborg of some sort. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah. So Christmas Eve morning, decided to have, well, all that week we had optional practices and get one or two girls in for each one. And yeah, I was wrestling one of them, and she had me in a chicken wing, and I worked out of that, got to a sit out, posted my arms back like I was getting ready to scoot my hips back, and she went to suck me back, and my elbow just went the wrong direction,
Oof.
hyperextended, so my elbow dislocated to right about here,
Uh-huh.
and made my way off the mat. And I had another one of my coaches there, and I was about to pass out. I could see my eyes going black, and he pulled the car up. There was a couple other coaches there too for the boys' side, and so when I stood up to walk the car, I don't remember it because I did pass out. They carried me to the car. And yeah, lovely morning in the ER. They had to sedate me twice. I guess I was still fighting under sedation for them to put it back in. And
Oh,
yeah, but yeah, now I got this lovely guy for can't really see it because of my sweatshirt, but 6 weeks
yeah.
here. Dislocation ended up fracturing the lateral epicondyle on my elbow. So we're stuck in that. I'm still the girls aren't really letting me do anything at practice, even though I'm still just it's automatic. You try and do
Yep.
everything still, but yeah, no live or anything weight bearing for me for a while.
So you said 6 weeks in the brace.
6 weeks in the brace, and then so I looked at the calendar. That puts me the week right after state, I believe, February 10th, and then like another month after that, where I just got to kind of take it easy. I can start doing some PT stuff, and yeah,
Is that what you do for a job too? Aren't you
it is. Yeah,
so you'll
yeah.
you'll
I'm a physical
follow the
therapist assistant, so
yeah, so you'll
yeah, I
follow
can
the
just kind of do
protocol
my own thing
probably.
there. Yeah, we're
Because
our own worst patients, though, so
it'll be your protocol, so you'll follow it, of course.
that's right.
Let's
Yeah,
actually I want to bring that up. I've been around this sport for a long time, and the people that follow PT protocol end up being so much better off than those that kind of do their own thing.
yeah,
I mean, what even some of those little movements that it seems like, man, we're not doing anything, but you actually have a science behind this. I'm guessing you're just not making
yeah.
it up. What's your best advice to athletes that get injured? They get it fixed. What can you say as a PT person to help them out?
I'd say my best advice would be don't rush back into things too soon. I mean, we see all the time where have athletes that they start to feel better, and right when they feel better, that's when they instantly rush back into just going 100% right away. And we like to say, once you're feeling good, I mean, depends on the injury, but give it another 1 to 2 weeks, work on strength, stability, uh, before you just rush back into things. Because I mean, right when you rush back in, things are feeling good. That's when re-injuries happen mostly. So just yeah, take it easy, take it slow. It's going to be better for your longevity of whatever it is to just yeah, not rush back into it too soon.
Yeah. We were talking earlier. You are now in the fourth year of being a head coach since sanctioning. Um, how did you end up coaching girls?
Yeah, so I grew up in Vinton and ended up moving back here with my wife in 2018, I believe, fall 2018. And so then boys and girls were obviously still combined. And so I didn't even know who the head coach was at the time. So I reached out to the AD, and then he told me I got in touch with the head coach, and it's like, hey, I'm from here. I want to help out. Just move back to town. And so I did volunteer assisting for a couple of years at the high school, and then I guess I did middle school too for a couple of years. That I always forget about that. But yeah, we had three girls on our team the first year. And one of them was pretty good. She ended up being one of the pillars of our program, Bailey Weeks. She was with us for, I think she had 3 years in. But yeah, from there we went from three girls to nine girls to 11, I want to say. And then the year after that is when it sanctioned and I took over. But yeah, just kind of, had no interest in coaching girls in the beginning, actually. Like I didn't go to any of the girls' tournaments the first year, I don't think. And then just as the years went on, I went to more and more and just fell in love with coaching that side of things. And I feel like my personality just ended up fitting more with coaching the girls than it did the guys. And I did both for a while, which was a lot. But when I took over as head coach, I had to take a step back for family and just my own sanity. So just
Oh,
the
of
girls
course.
for the past 4 years.
Yeah, and coaching girls, it's a definitely it's different. Anybody that tells you that it's coach them exactly the same, it's not.
Right.
So much different. What do you think the biggest difference in coaching girls over boys is?
I think it comes to more of a not so much the wrestling side of things, but more the personality side of things, where a lot of boys they respect accolades and girls don't so much care about that. Like I don't need I can count on less than a handful of times that the girls have asked me like how I did in high school. And I think if you build their trust, they'll run through a brick wall for you.
Yeah.
Build their trust first and then they'll do whatever you want as a coach.
Well, you've had some fantastic wrestlers over the years, and I don't want to leave anybody out, and it'll be impossible to remember everybody. But just remind a few people of some of maybe your high state place winners and some of those that have really made a difference on that Vinton Shellsburg team.
Yeah, so started out with Bailey Weeks. She ended up being a three-time state place winner. We had a Rachel Bain who ended up placing, I think she placed one time her senior year. Um, Bree Swenson, three-time state place winner. Ellie Wheats, um, Chloe Sanders, and now we got Kaylin Roster who placed for her first time last year. I think that's all the place winners we've had. Um, and yeah, most of them obviously been multi-time place winner, and so hopefully we can continue that this year.
Yeah, no, I mean you've done a great job so far. Um, Season, man, it's amazing that we're already in the last month, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, by the end of this month, we will be at regionals. We will be figuring out who's going to the state tournament.
yeah.
It's crazy. How has the season been so far for you?
Been really good. I don't want to say I was worried about it going into this season, but just we lost a senior class of it was five girls. One of them was a manager, but she wrestled for us for a few years, so still a big part of the team. Um, we had some good quality in that class, so I was kind of worried going into it how it was going to be. Good quality wrestlers and just people. It was a big personality loss on the team. Each one of them brought something different, so I didn't quite know how this season was going to go in regards to that. But it's been good. We've had leaders step up. We've had returning leaders. Chloe has obviously been a leader for a while, and she's stepped up even more each year we go on. Allie Erickson's been a great leader for a while. She hasn't been captain until this year, but she's really stepped up. And then Kaylin and Cam both have stepped up as leaders. They put a lot of time in the off season, and yeah, they've all carried our team amongst others who are great leaders that just don't have the captain status per se. It doesn't mean you can't be a good
Yep.
leader, but that everyone brings something special to the team, and it's been a fun season. So losing the quality hurts, but that's just part of the sport. You deal with what you have, and you make everyone better, and you move on.
Well, you're still looking pretty good. Kind of pulled up your regional, going to Midland, so pretty tough regional right now. Right now, and the rankings can change. Obviously, we got probably another two rankings coming out. 21 wrestlers ranked. You have three of those wrestlers, and it looked like about 150, 160. So brackets will be pretty full. Definitely a good regional. What are some of the things? And I don't know if you've even started talking about regionals yet. I'm just starting to start mentioning that this is that part of the season. What are some of the things that you're going to really focus on over the next few weeks?
Basics. It's
Basics.
it's something we've really hammered in, and just as I've matured as a coach over the past 4 years, it's really went from showing everything to just showing the things that work for us and hammering those out and perfecting those as close as you can to perfection in the sport. But yeah, one thing we this year especially, we just keep coming back to the basics. Basics on your feet, basics of positioning. I mean, that's what wins matches is just going back to the basics. We don't have to be fancy, and we've I don't think we've ever really been a fancy team. We'll show fun moves just because it's fun for them, but yeah, every day. We just it seems like it kind of gets redundant in practice because we kind of do the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I mean, if you can't get those basics down, you're not going to go very far. So I mean, that's just what we're going to continue, and it's worked well for us, and hopefully it keeps working well this month.
Yeah, you said a word in there that I struggle with, especially coaching girls, perfection. Many of the girls I feel like they are perfectionists.
Yeah.
Just that's something that's in them, and if they don't get it perfect, then they feel discouraged. What are some of the things that you've done maybe to help with that?
We do a lot of mental training. So it's really just a lot of talking them through it, just getting them to know that. And I'm a perfectionist myself, uh, so it frustrates me when I can't do something perfectly. Um, but just know that it's never going to be perfect. Um, yeah, that's a hard question. I don't really know specifically what we do for that, but just practice what you preach. And I'm never going to be a perfect coach. I'm never going to be a perfect dad. um, never gonna be perfect at anything, and make sure they know that I acknowledge that, so that they know that they can find that within themselves to know that this isn't gonna be perfect, and the girl on the other side of the line like isn't gonna let you make it perfect.
Yep.
And sometimes that's a struggle in practice too, because wrestling someone in practice is completely different than wrestling in a match. No matter how many times you say like wrestle like you're gonna wrestle in a match, you're not going to because it's simulated.
Yep.
And you might feel like it's perfect in practice or as close to, but you get on the mat and it's not going to be that way. It's not realistic.
Yeah, wrestling's not a perfect sport.
Yeah.
It's just it's not. It's who can grind and find that way, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Great.
again, you guys have had great success over the years. Coaching staff really matters.
Yes.
I always like to mention everybody that helps out. Who do you have on your coaching staff?
Yeah. So we got Jason Sanders, would be my head assistant coach. And so he's been with me from the beginning. And then we got Justice Dominic, who she has been with us for, I want to say this is her third, might be her fourth year too. Yeah, she's been with us since she graduated high school. She stuck around the area and helped us out, and it was great to get a female on staff, especially one that's close to their age that
Yep.
they can relate to a little more. And then this year we just brought on Jordan Howell. He's actually my pastor at my church at Veritas in Urbana. And he wrestled 1 year at Simpson. He's from Fort Dodge area, small town around there. I can't think of the name. Um, yeah, he wrestled 1 year at Simpson, transferring out to Iowa State, I believe. But he's been a great addition, both wrestling wise. He's um, about the same. He's about my size, and so he can jump in live with a lot of the girls too, and push those that really need that push past just their normal practice partners. And him being a pastor, he's great at public speaking, which is where my downfall is. And Jason's very good at it too. Um, but Jason's been around with us for a few years, and so sometimes when we're around for a while, we say the same things over and over again. And so
Yep.
Jordan's kind of a breath of fresh air, bringing in a whole different perspective to things. So it's been fun adding him on this year.
Now you'll find as you get the gray and stuff that you keep repeating your stories over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
Oh, and I
The
can't
girls can,
forget the past few years we've had Jody Pfizer too. I can't not mention him. He was another dad of one of the wrestlers on the team. He took a step back this year because of family and his daughter graduated, but he was a huge help from the get go for us too.
well, like you mentioned family, so uh, coaches' wives and coaches' family so important to let them know how appreciated they are. Uh, tell us who your wife is and maybe a little bit about the family and stuff.
Yeah, she's the backbone of everything. This wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for her. So Sydney Corcoran is my wife. She's actually from Shellsburg, so we grew up together. We didn't really know each other till high school, midway through high school, till I randomly messaged her on Facebook, and from the rest is history. I had to chase her a little bit, but after high school, she gave in, and here we are, 8 years of marriage down the road. And yeah, things are going good. She works at the elementary school, Tilford, here in town as a secretary, and we got four kids that I, I'll say she manages during the season because of me being gone a lot. But yeah, it wouldn't be possible without her.
And four kids, that's a lot. Um,
Yes.
Four kids, probably all under the age of 8, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And
Oldest is 7. We got twin boys that are 4, and then we got a 7-month old.
oh wow, the twin boys. How did you sleep for 8? How much sleep have you gotten since that's happened?
So they didn't sleep through the night for 10 months. They were up every 45 minutes, one then the other for 10 months straight. And it's kind of like time was non-existent for us then because we would give baths at like 2 in the morning because if they're asleep at 8, we're not going to wake them up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's they're great sleepers now, but yeah, it took a little bit to get there.
Yeah, I think Jason Shepard had, twins too, and he told me some horror stories about again about ten months to a year of nobody slept.
Yeah,
It just doesn't know
wouldn't
how he
change
made
it.
it through. Yeah, but that's awesome. Yeah, the family, that's such an important thing, and without the understanding of the long hours that were gone and not for a lot of pay,
Yeah, great.
sometimes they're like, is this really worth it? And it's like, yes, it's really worth it. It
Yeah.
really is. But yeah, no, they're super important. Um, you had to have some good coaching coming up. You're a great coach. You do a really good job. Who are some of the coaches that influenced you?
Um, I'll go back to high school. My head coach was Steve Johnson. He was a big influence on me. Great coach, great person. He ended up passing away when I was in high school, or when I got to college. Him and then Joel Neve, who runs our youth program now. But those were my two main coaches in high school, and they were great. I mean, I can't say enough good things about them. And then, yeah, moving back here, the coaching staff was completely different. So Brian Chesson was the head coach at the time for the boys and girls when we were combined, and Mike Schwann and Jay Bridgewater. Those were all the guys that were in when I jumped in. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone, but yeah, I don't think there's a single one who I haven't taken something from to help build up who I am as a coach.
Yeah, it's amazing how much coaching we steal from other people, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden and then someone's borrowing from you.
yeah,
It's never your own. I've found that over the years, and I think I go to a lot of clinics and camps, and I think I learn more in every clinic and camp than probably any of the athletes ever do.
yeah.
Because it's just you look at the sport differently, I think, as a coach.
Oh,
Um,
I gotta give you credit too, because I mean, you were a coach when I first jumped in that I looked up to right away, just as we got to know each other a little bit right away. And we had that coaching mentor thing that I signed up for you, actually. I think I got placed with you, but I don't think we ever did anything with it. But that's where we break it down to family every day. So I got that idea
yeah.
from you and we ran with it and it's worked well for us. So
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I didn't even realize I was part of the mentoring program, and I started getting random just messages from people, and that's actually how we got to be friends and stuff is,
yeah,
just talking. I didn't even realize that that's what it was. I wish I guess maybe that wasn't, I, maybe the IWCA didn't do a great job that year of letting people know their roles. But
it's a work
yeah,
in
that was,
progress.
yes, yeah. So no, it was, but I've got to know a lot of people because of that, and it was
Yeah.
kind of cool. So no, I appreciate it. I like getting to know other people, and I've drawn from you guys. Um, we got to figure out what you're doing because boy, you took it to us at the duel this year, So I think
We've been
that's
waiting for
we.
that for 4 years now.
I
So that
know we
was
never
fun.
get a chance, but no, it's always fun, and it was good duels. I don't want to say that my kids didn't have some good matches, but different team for us this year too. I lost a
Yeah.
lot of senior leadership over the last couple of years, and yeah, it's a whole different year. Speaking of that, man, the kids coming up. Wrestling has changed. In these 4 years of girls sanctioned wrestling, the wrestling is not the same.
No.
What's your thoughts on that? It's amazing.
It's just been crazy watching it grow from day one. I don't remember the exact numbers from before it was sanctioned, but I want to say when I first got into coaching, when state was at Waverly, it was like 90 girls the first year I was there, maybe. And I didn't even go to state that year. We had Bailey Weeks was there, and she placed eighth, but that was before I had any interest in coaching girls. And just seeing where it's went from then to now, and especially when it got sanctioned, the numbers just exploded. Like you said, the quality is just crazy. You got girls like, I mean, I'm not great with names off the top of my head, but Peterson from Denver coming
Yeah,
in, and I mean, she's just amazing. Like
yeah,
the girls that are wrestling for how many years now versus um, when we were first starting, I, I don't want to say it's the wrong way, but if you were remotely athletic when it first started, you could be pretty good.
Hmm.
And now it's like you got to be wrestling pretty much year round and been in it for a while to be one of the top ones.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. The To qualify for the girls' state wrestling tournament is you are truly doing something amazing. Uh,
Yeah.
being the top 16 girls now, and even having two classes, being the top 16 in your weight at your class is an amazing feat, and it's only going to get tougher. These girls, I watch not a lot of youth wrestling, but enough youth wrestling through the off season that I know I've seen some matches that I never wrestled as good as some of these girls are wrestling in like fourth and fifth grade, So I know that the level of wrestling is coming up, and it's going to be really fun to watch. It is also to me a little bit sad that I've had a lot of success with sophomores and juniors coming out for the very first time and being decent athletes
Mhm.
and being fairly successful at it. I don't know if those years will I don't know how many years of that we have left, but
Right.
it's still fun to see those kids come out as a junior and
Yeah.
have success and learn
Yeah. This
something
is
from
my first year. I think I don't have anyone trying it for a senior sport. Like every other year, I've had a random senior come out, but we don't have anyone who this year who had never wrestled before, which was kind of fun because you could dive
it.
into it. And you got some freshmen that are still pretty beginner, but you could dive into things and move forward a lot quicker this year, which was good.
Yeah. One of the things that's really I am getting kind of close to not being done with wrestling itself, but being a head coach in the next few years. That's kind of I'm kind of at that age where my body doesn't work quite as well, and I've been thinking a lot about legacy and what we're leaving with the kids moving forward. Because there's very few of them are going to go on to wrestle college. It's a small percentage, and then anybody that's going past that, it's even a tiny, tiny percentage. So most of the what we're doing is helping kids just be good at life. What are
Yeah.
some of the things that you're really concentrating on in the room in teaching girls moving forward?
I think our biggest thing is, I mean, you could talk about the things that every other sport talks about, adversity and stuff like that all day long. But I think our biggest thing that we try and teach is that wrestling is such a small part of your life that what happens here within the season, in the practice room, on the mat, at state, whatever, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But the little things that you're doing to build these habits, to accomplish these goals, those are the things that are going to take you so far in life by building these um, just good habits that are going to carry forward into the real world to make you a better mom for the girls, a better employee, just a better person in general. Just doing all the little things right, and just knowing that something little like wrestling doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Like your results, no one's going to remember your results down the road, but what they're going to remember is who you were and how you got to where you are then.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I know that, man, I struggled right out of college not knowing what I was anymore because I'd been a wrestler. All my life I'd been a wrestler, and all of a sudden I wasn't. So that's really good advice. That's good stuff. I'm going to change it up a little bit, and let's get into some fun questions and get to know you and basically the Vinton program just a little bit better. Um,
Okay.
I come from the late 80s was my era of music. I don't get an opportunity to get on the practice playlist very often. Do you get any practice playlist time?
I opt out. So yeah, I hate when I'm connected to the playlist because then my mind's not on like the practice things because I'm so worried about like what song's queued up next and is it going to be an appropriate song and all this. And so either one of our assistants will do it. But this year the girls just made just their own practice playlist that one of the girls usually connects to. And we try and keep it appropriate for the most part. But
It's not
yeah,
an easy thing to do.
it's not an
It,
easy thing to do, and I personally don't care. I know the music that I listen to, but you got to know your audience too. So not
yep.
every girl loves all that kind of music. So yeah, as long as it's appropriate, I let them just run the playlists for the most part. And I have threatened that if they're not doing well, we'll just turn the music off entirely. I don't think we've ever gotten to that part because that would drive me nuts. But
Yep.
no, they get free reign over it.
Yeah. Speaking of having new people out, I do have one this year, and I've been trying, and the practice playlist comes up all the time. She's from Germany,
Oh,
and so I've been trying to figure out what Germans listen to, and I've been a total strikeout every time. I played German techno music for about half of practice, and she said no. Played German pop one time for a few minutes, and she goes, "I feel like I'm at my grandma's," So I don't think it's Hasselhoff either. I don't know. I just the playlist has been kind of a struggle for me this year. I don't
sure.
touch it very often either, but. Um, Food. I absolutely love food. I my figure shows I keep getting rounder and rounder. Ice cream's my favorite guilty pleasure food. What's something that is your guilty pleasure food?
I have a blessing and a curse of I can eat whatever I want and not gain any weight. So, not that it's the healthiest thing for me to do, but I don't know if I have one thing. I think it depends on time of year and just how I'm feeling. But recently, I love yogurt. And I mean, it's not the most unhealthy thing, but I mean, it's loaded up with sugar. Um, but yogurt is kind of my go-to right now. But pie, fruit pizza. My birthday was a few weeks ago, and the girls brought a fruit pizza to
Oh,
the meet. So I'm not a terrible eater. I don't crave a ton of sweets. I don't drink pop, but I mean, yeah, if there's something around, I'll snack on it. But I don't really have like one thing really.
I like the fruit pizza. That sounds fantastic. I might
Love
have
fruit
to.
pizza.
That's great. I haven't had that for quite a while. I'm gonna write that down. I got the grandkids here for a couple days, so we might have to go find some fruit pizza. Um,
There you go.
We've been trying our best. I brought Ekin in for a little while, done some stuff. Not that they're in the area that we can utilize them as much as I want, but we've been talking about nutrition a lot more this year. What are some of the things
Sure.
post weigh-in that you're having the girls eat?
I don't mandate or dictate what they eat. I mean, we'll talk to them about the right things to eat. You can lead a horse to water, but
Yep.
I mean, what they bring is kind of up to them. So I mean, and they're all pretty good about it. We more talk about just keeping it consistent. Like, don't try something new after weigh-ins on a meet day, and find the things that work for you. And I think the majority of the girls on our team have one thing that they'll eat. Doesn't matter time of weigh-ins. Like Chloe, after weigh-ins, I mean, she's eating turkey sliders. Doesn't matter
Uh-huh.
if it's an 8 o'clock weigh-in or a 4 o'clock weigh-in. Turkey sliders. And then the girls always have these. They call them snackle boxes. That is
Yes.
free for the coaches. Okay, that's you guys have that too. So
Yep. Yep.
always got some snacks in there, but just hydrating is the big thing to start with, and getting some good carbs. A little bit of protein, not a lot, after you weigh in before you wrestle, but just not gorging yourself either. Wrestling a little bit hungry, that way you can snack between your matches too.
Yeah. I think that's important. That's not how I used to do it. Snickers and the Mountain Dew used to be my go-to after weigh-in, so that's not
Peanut
good
butter jelly and a
nutrition.
banana was mine.
That's not bad though. Peanut butter and jelly is a great. I still have peanut butter and jelly. Every once in a while, I'll see a post that said, "Who's an adult out there still eating peanut butter and jelly?" And I'm like, "That's me."
That's me. That's literally all our twin boys will eat right now. That
Yeah,
is their lunch and dinner a lot of the times. So
that's it's a fantastic dinner. Speaking of dinner, next time I'm in Vinton, where are we gonna go out to eat? What's the best place to go out to eat in Vinton?
Beast and Bird for sure. It's a new place that my buddy, we went to high school together. He grew up wrestling, Logan Merchant. We wrestled together. He started a Beast and Bird food truck, and he's been doing that for 5, 6, 7, I don't know, quite a few years. He's built up the name good. Uh, and they just got a brick and mortar just a little over a year ago. But it's a like a smokehouse barbecue,
Ooh,
pulled pork, mac and cheese, cornbread as their staples, and brisket. And I don't know who it was, but there was a food critic that went around, and I want to say it was voted the best barbecue in Iowa and 15th in the nation.
wow.
And they cater our kids' birthday parties. They cater our fundraiser, and they do our home tournament too. I think you probably had it when you were at
Oh
our home
yeah,
tournament last year, two
yes,
years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Yes, I don't know that weekend of your tournament. It's destined to be the snowiest weekend of the
I love.
year. Oh my God. I woke up that morning. I already knew that they had told me no, and I my brother uh coaches for Western Iowa. and they're about an hour away. And they said, "Well, we have a tournament. It's our only home date we have. We're doing senior night. If you can make it down, come down." And it ended up being them because they were there. I took five girls in a Suburban, and it took us about an extra 45 minutes to get there. And then Carol showed up an hour, almost an hour late for weigh-ins, because it took them so long. So three teams at a, well, it's supposed to be, well, they had eight, and then I was coming down if I could. Nine-team tournament, three teams showed up. It was such
Right.
a bad day. Probably shouldn't have driven down there, but I needed to get some matches in. But
Well, I remember 2 years ago would have been the last year that you were there.
yeah,
The weather, I believe, was fine, but there
yep.
was the flu or something going through, and we had like 100+ scratches. And I didn't have Mark Kenny run the tournament that year, and I did it myself. Never ran a tournament before, and it was a shit show trying to do that and
Yeah.
coach at the same time. And I don't think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
possible to do it good.
You have to have good assistance if you're doing that much stuff because
Yeah.
you're not going to be in the corner at all. You're
I remember
handling
it was a
every.
few days, or I don't know, a few weeks before that. We did a Google Meet with Clint Codon because I was like, man, I don't know how to run a tournament. Just run me through this. And I think Shannon set it up for me, and we won it, and it ended up working out good. Just all the scratches kind of threw us for a loop, and then yeah, like you said, the weather, ice storm last year, and then this year, just south of us was big snowstorm, and a few teams, Bettendorf and Fort Madison, Pleasant Valley, they all made it through they made the journey, but they about turned around halfway through just because it was so bad.
Yeah, it's
Bad
been
day.
traditionally, yeah, bad day. Traditionally, since I started coaching at Ridgeview 6 years ago, I coached the boys too. The Friday night was JV, and then Saturday was the boys varsity at Riverside, Oakland Riverside. And every year, it seems like that date, there was always one of the two gets canceled, either
Yeah,
the Friday night or the Saturday. It's crazy how it happens like that.
great.
Vacation spots. With four kids, I'm sure you don't get to do a lot of vacationing now, but you got a bucket list spot you want to go?
Oh, I love hiking, snowboarding, I'm a big extreme sports guy,
Uh-huh.
skateboarding. But so I think going out to Switzerland would be my like dream
Uh-huh.
list. But realistically, with four kids, anytime soon, I don't know. They really want to go to Disney World. I mean, it's not. I don't want to say it's not a huge thing, but that's the classic thing, or a Disney cruise or something like that. But my wife's brother lives down in outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, and then my family's got a cabin 7 hours north up in Minnesota. So we kind of alternate years going
Uh-huh.
between those right now. Nothing this year, just with a newborn, but next year we'll go. I don't remember which one we're going to next, but yeah,
Yeah, you're one of those mountain people. I've found that you're either a mountain person or a beach person, and
yeah.
you are the mountain person.
I can do a beach for a day, not even a day, a couple hours maybe, and then I'm good. I don't
No,
like
I
sand
could
being where sand shouldn't be.
I could be a whale. I just when we go down to Florida for those trips, I'm in the ocean is more than any of the girls ever are.
Yeah.
I'm pruned for the whole week. Um, do you get any opportunity binge TV, watch movies with having four kids right now, being in
They
wrestling season?
really dictate what we watch. Anytime recent, I don't know the last time we've sat down and binged a show. We've got the longest list of shows that we want to watch.
Uh-huh.
Um, right now, we're big into just stand-up comedy because you get put the kids to bed, you got an hour or so, and you can relax and just laugh together. Um, just I mean, with how busy life is, it's hard to even have time to do that because it's either do we spend time together and hang out for a little bit, or do we actually get some sleep when we have the chance? And but yeah, stand-up comedy is kind of our go-to right now.
Not a bad one like that. What's the kids shows you're watching? Because I got grandkids from now 18 months to 9 years old, so I know them all. What's
Yeah,
the kids shows we're watching now?
my favorite's Bluey.
I love Bluey.
Bluey's
Absolutely
great.
love. Yeah, that's
We
that's
our last night, our New Year's. My daughter's big into the Wicked movie,
oh
and so
yeah.
we bought Wicked 2 last night and watched that. And I'm not a musical person, but those movies are pretty good. So
Yeah, too bad. I'm not a what's it's Miss what's her name? I can't think of it right off the top of my head. It's kind of like watching Blue's Clues from the old days. Man, it's driving me nuts. I can't think of her name, but it's not for me. We had to watch it one day, and it was
The Miss
it's
Rachel?
yes, Miss Rachel. I can't do Miss Rachel, man. That's it.
Our kids haven't found Miss Rachel.
Oh, you're probably fortunate. We actually banned back in the old day. What was the big purple dinosaur dude?
Barney?
Barney. Barney was not allowed in our household. That was I laid it down. We cannot have Barney in our house. So no, I'm glad Bluey's around though. That's you're right. That
Yeah,
is a good
Blue
one.
is a good one.
Um, I haven't asked it for a while, but you mentioned Disney before. Do you have a favorite Disney character?
Favorite Disney character? Um, Probably Tarzan. And I have no reasoning behind that, but that's always been one of my favorite Disney movies. Um, I was actually getting ready for the who would you want to wrestle if you're picking a
Oh, yeah,
Disney
yeah.
character.
Well, we'll go there. We'll go there.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go with Tarzan for Disney favorite Disney character from what I can
And
think
who
of
we
off
go?
the top of my head.
All right, who we gonna wrestle?
So I got a story behind this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Nemo from Finding Nemo.
Okay.
The story behind it is, and people find it hard to believe, but when I was in high school, freshman year, it was a freshman only tournament. I don't know where he went, but I wrestled a kid with no arms and no legs.
Oh
He
wow.
he had stubs to about, I don't know, a few inches on
Uh-huh.
each, and it obviously a lot of heart because you can't really wrestle very well with no arms and no legs. Um, and I didn't let him win. And hindsight, I wish I could go back and let him win. So I'm gonna go with Nemo, who has no arms and no legs and a broken fin. I'm gonna let him win that match just so I can get that thought out of my head. But
Wow. Yeah, I actually helped coach a young man that was double amputee above the knee and then had one arm that it was little different. He only had one finger on it and stuff. So, and it was he wrestled at like 106, whatever the weight class was at the time. But his one arm that he had to do everything with. Oh my God, it was a man arm. And
pretty
so
strong.
if he could get a front headlock on a 106 pounder, they were done.
Yeah,
But yeah, again, it was difficult, but it was interesting to try to teach wrestling to somebody that doesn't have all the advantages that we have and stuff
yeah,
and the heart that it takes to do that. Yeah, I like that. That's a good answer. Really good answer. Um, new the new rule changes last year. 3 point takedown, 4-3-2 on near fall,
yep.
uh, 1 point of contact. How are you liking those rules?
I love them.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah, the 3 points. I like the 1 point of contact. I think everyone loves that one. It's just
yep,
creates so much less of a headache. Um, One thing that we've ran into with that rule is that, and you couldn't pay me enough to ref. I would be terrible at it because my attention span is very short. One thing that we found is that even when that 1 point is in, um, refs are going to be looking at the near fall points, and that foot comes up.
yep,
A lot of refs don't see it,
yep,
and we kind of play the still under game a little bit, like we're freestyle. And so I find myself jumping out of the chair and yelling and pointing, and I mean, I can't argue that point with the ref, but just something that I know a lot of them are paying more attention to. And we've had the conversation with a lot of refs, and they acknowledge it. But it's a hard thing to both watch the near fall points that are up here and then the toe that might be barely coming up here.
yep. Yeah, that is a difficult one. And that's, I guess if you're in a finals of a decent sized tournament, you're gonna have both official, two officials, secondary official,
Hmm.
and that helps. But yeah, one person can't do it. I think you just hit the nail on the head though. Why I don't like to officiate either, attention span, because
Yeah,
I can be coaching my match and I have somebody else up over here and I'm watching both matches and I don't even sometimes know. I've had girls that I didn't realize the period ended and it was our choice and they're like, what should I take? I'm like, I have no idea what even the score
That
is.
happens to me more often than I'd like to admit. I got
Yeah,
asked
it's
to help ref one of our youth duels we've had here a few weeks ago, and I'm like, no, I'm good. And my daughter was wrestling, so I'm just gonna be dad, but
yeah.
definitely not, even if she wasn't wrestling.
Yeah, it's something I do not like to do. I've done a few matches this year just because I was the only one that the two assistants I let them run the other part of practice. I got two mats and so I did some wrestle offs and I hated doing them. I'm glad they were very lopsided, so I didn't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah,
But yeah, close match. I don't want to be involved in that at all.
yeah.
Speaking of rules, NFHS, let's just say you got a big promotion and you are now in charge of wrestling rules at the NFHS. Would you change anything?
I'd like to see how a push out point went. I know that's kind of a common answer for everyone, but I'd be curious. I think another fun one would be, and I think you'd have to really dictate how it was used was if you did challenge bricks. But I'm gonna say that with only like championship side, like regionals and state tournaments. Otherwise, they would
Yeah,
get overused way too much.
that would be cool. And then we'd have to have video review
Yeah.
of, that'd be kind of interesting. I've noticed in college, and I don't watch as much wrestling as I used to. I think it's just busy.
Mhm.
Especially the first one they started doing video review. I don't think I ever saw a call overturned because the referees were reviewing their own calls.
Oh, sure.
I
Yeah.
thought that was I thought that was one of the dumbest things they could have possibly done is have
Uh-huh.
the referee that made the call review their own call
Right.
because it never seemed to work out.
I still
You also
remember again, as I've matured as a coach, I try to like be less vocal with the refs,
yep.
and it's automatic for I think all coaches just to just jump up and down and yell every now and then. But I think Mark Kenny once told me that it doesn't matter how you come to me, I'm not going to change my call.
Yep.
And so I try and keep that in mind, and yeah, just try and
Yeah.
be respectful about it.
You're more hoping that you don't get that same call the next time. Yeah, I
Right.
guess. Yeah. That's
I've only
that's
got one team point deducted the whole time. So I did have a girl flip me off one time, a wrestler at
really.
Donnybrook. This is even part of what we were talking about, but it just recalled my memory. But at Donnybrook a couple years ago, Chloe was wrestling someone from out of state. I don't remember where it was. Um, but the girl was stalling the whole time, and then Chloe got on top, and I don't remember what I yelled, but something about she was stalling. Why can't you stall it out or something like that? And the girl just flips me off, and the ref didn't see it, but we got it on film, and we were out at like the coaches and officials social, and I showed Mark, and he was like, "Yeah, she should have got called for that, but you got to watch what you say too." And so I try to be careful. Easier said than done.
That's that's funny. That's got to be a highlight reel for you somewhere, though.
I got to find the video again. I'll send it to you if I can find it.
That's that's fantastic. Oh, that's funny. Um, we'll go to a couple questions left for you. Kind of getting on the slide here. Um, Wrestling has taught me to blank.
Oh boy, what hasn't it taught me? Wrestling has taught me to not take the little things to heart as much as I should, as much as I do.
Good. It's a good answer. Um, haven't asked this for a while. Here's another one I kind of just threw in for today. I a lot of times will mention people that inspired me in wrestling. But who's somebody that you like maybe have the girls watch, or do you use YouTube videos and stuff to have the girls kind of maybe look at a Helen or somebody like that? Is there someone that you have the girls look to, and then maybe someone that inspired you in wrestling?
We don't really have the girls watch anyone specific. We've done a lot of wrestling mindset in the past. We did the actual program last year, and then the year before, we would pull up like wrestling mindset videos. So we would talk a lot about that kind of stuff after we watch the video. But as far as wrestlers go, not so much. I mean, they watch a lot of their own film, but we used to have a tradition. We did do it last year, but we would go down to state the night before and then get like a conference room or something and pull up just like a flow film. We watched like the Helen Maroulis one. Um, and I don't remember what else we've watched, but uh, yeah, nothing specific for them, but yeah, we do like to watch things together like that.
Gotcha. Is there someone that like when I mention people that inspired me when I wrestled, the girls wouldn't even know who they are. So like Royce Alger was somebody I used to
Uh,
love watching, and I've actually got to sit down and have beverages with Royce before, so it's
oh,
kind of
nice.
interesting to kind of meet your heroes. But did you have somebody that you looked up to when you were wrestling?
I don't know if I had a wrestler that I looked up to, but Matt McDonough was my favorite wrestler throughout high school. And it actually was fun because when we started our softball fundraiser, we do a slow pitch softball game, our wrestlers versus the police department here in town.
Uh-huh.
Matt and Mark Ironside came and played on our team for the first couple years of it. So
Oh,
that was
cool.
kind of fun, getting it full circle. One of my favorite wrestlers come and hang out and play some slow pitch with us.
Awesome. That's really cool. Um, Wrestle Like a Girl, not the organization, but this term a few years ago, it hasn't even been a decade ago, was a very derogatory term. You wrestle like a girl. Now, what do you believe the term wrestle like a girl is?
Girls wrestle to win, and a lot of boys wrestle not to lose. Someone said that to me once, and yeah, it holds true today.
Yeah, I've not heard. I like whoever said that. They might have hit the nail on the head there. That's very good. There's a lot of points scored in girls wrestling and
Yep.
a lot of things that happen. You're right. Very good. Well, I've gotten through my whole list. Do you got any final thoughts for today?
I don't think so. I love what you're doing with the podcast. I listen to it all the time when I have time to throw a podcast on. I
Yeah.
don't get to see the video very much because it's usually when I'm mowing or shoveling or something. But uh, no, I love what you're doing with the podcast with your team, and just thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh no, and love having you on. I'm going to have you. I'm going to do one thing I've been starting to do is try to um, send out wrestling featuring wrestling athletes and not necessarily the top athletes. It can be just kids in the room. I'm going to send you those questions, and so the week your video comes out, we're going to try to feature some Vinton Shellsburg girls. Does that
Okay,
sound pretty good? Awesome.
sounds good.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. It's always fun to talk to you. I'm sure we'll get to see each other down at the state tournament, and
Absolutely.
you bet. I'm excited because I think this year I'm gonna even try to get a press pass, and I'm gonna do some stuff at the one A side of it when I'm not
Hey,
coaching.
there you go.
So I think that'll be fun. So, well, very
Yeah,
good.
that's exciting.
I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.